Hey everyone, welcome to Homeschool. Today we are with one more interesting chapter of class 10 physics, that is human eye and the colorful world. See, this is the most interesting and a very important chapter. Actually, this is a very small chapter also, where the concepts are very easy to understand, right? Okay. See, in the entire chapter, what you are going to study is, first and foremost, you will study about human eye. Okay, because human eye is a very sensitive organ. It is this sense organ that is used to see various things present around us, right? So let us study the structure of human eye especially. So what does the eye is made up of? What parts do you have? What is the importance of those parts which are present in the eye? Everything we will discuss. Actually, our human eye has a certain type of lens. This lens is producing an images. Okay, just like we have seen the image formation in case of convex lens and concave lens in the previous chapter, isn't it? Similarly, you have certain lens in the human eye which is used to form the images. Clear? Say how the images are formed, or how the lens is made up of, different parts, everything we discuss under structure of human eye. And later we will study the defects of human eye. Okay, there are certain diseases related to the human eye, like you must have heard short sight, long sight, why they are caused, what are their scientific names, how you can correct them, right? All of them we will discuss in defects, right? This is one part of a chapter, actually the very basic and fundamental thing. And later we will study the refraction process. What do you mean by refraction? So this refraction process we are studying in case of prism. So the next concept is refraction through prism. Clear? After that we will study dispersion of light. So what do you mean by dispersion of light? You must have heard it in your smaller classes, right? So dispersion is nothing but splitting of light. Light is made up of 7 colors, Vibgayar, rainbow colors. So how the light is split into 7 colors? That process is called as dispersion of light. So how dispersion of light occurs through prism? Right? Through the prism, if you see a light, you can observe the 7 colors. So the whole process we are going to study with a beautiful experiment. And after this, we will study atmospheric refraction. So in the atmosphere, there occurs refraction. Clear? Because of atmospheric refraction, you observe twinkling of stars. So why does the stars twinkle? That is what you are going to study. And after this, scattering of light you will study. Scattering of light. See, under this scattering of light, 2 important phenomenon you will study. The first one is Tyndall effect. Very important phenomenon, Tyndall effect. And after that, why does the sun's color changes during sunrise and sunset? Right? Sunrise and sunset. During these times, the color of the sun changes. So what colors, why does the color change? Everything we will discuss. So mainly, what are the main concepts you are studying? First thing is human eye, its structure and defects. Later, refraction through prism. After that, dispersion of light through prism. The whole concept is about refraction through prism you are studying. Atmospheric refraction. There you study twinkling of stars. Scattering of light. There you study Tyndall effect, sunrise, sunset, colored changes of sun. Clear? Fine. So this is the whole chapter, very simple chapter. Say the chapter will get over by 6 to 7 videos. So today I am talking about the human eye and its structure. Clear? So knowing the components of eye is nothing but different parts of eye is very important, right? And basically, how does our eye look? See, to see an eye, I am drawing an eye, not a very perfect drawing. Say these are our like eyebrows, right? You have eyelids also. Anyway, say this is how the eye looks, shape of an eye looks. In the middle, you have something like this, a round ball, isn't it? And you know, this round ball is placed in a white colored area. You can observe the eye, white colored area. In between, you will have black round ball. If you clearly see the eye, you know, in the middle, you have some dark color structure also, right? Fine. This is how your eye looks. Let me tell you the various parts here. This white color portion is called sclera. White color portion of the eye is called sclera, right? And this part, actually, this part is slightly colored. The color of this part is different in different human beings. Say some people will have blue color, right? You must have heard blue colored eyes, cat eyes, brown colored eyes, black eyes, you know, different colors in the different human beings is because of this part. This part is what colored part of an eye. And this part is called as iris. What is the word? Iris. And in between the iris, you know, inside the iris, in the middle of the iris portion, you have a hole, a very dark black colored structure. Actually, it is the opening of the eye. Through this particular area, you know, the light rays will pass inside the eye. What I told you, images are going to be formed in the eye, right? Light rays have to go inside. So, through which part the light rays are going inside? It is going through pupil. This is called pupil. Clear? So, this is a basic structure of eye that you can look outward from outside. Clear? And if I have to draw the internal structure of an eye, you know, say this particular portion, if I cut and watch it internally, you know, how does it looks like? So I think you can able to understand here which portion I'm drawing here. This particular portion I'm taking and I'm cutting like this. I'm cutting like this, and that lateral part, internal part, I am watching. Okay, so when I cut open the eye, you know, when I watch the inside part of an eye, this is how it looks. And you know, let me first draw it and later I will try to name the parts. Okay, something like this. And this is my what? Iris portion. So in the middle of the iris, what you have? You have something called pupil. Okay, so I'm differentiating with the colors actually. See, iris is the one I have drawn it with green color. Okay, pupil is this one in the middle. Fine. Say this is how the main internal part of the eye, and one layer I'm drawing inside. Okay, and this layer we call it as retina. This layer is called retina. Okay, this particular layer. Fine. And let me name the parts one by one. See, this bulged portion, okay, you have a kind of bulge outside, right? And the bulged portion of an eye have a covering, and this covering is a transparent one. It is a transparent one. Okay, and this covering is for protection purpose. Okay, and also most of the light rays that enter the eye, you know, it refracts in this particular portion. Okay, so in this particular transparent layer, okay, most of the refraction takes place through this particular transparent layer, and this layer we call it as cornea. Very, very important component of eye, that is cornea. And you know, since it is transparent, light rays can travel through this cornea. And most of the refraction occurs in this cornea. Clear? So whenever a light ray is coming, you know, since the medium is changing, this is air medium. Once it enters to a cornea, the medium changes, so the refraction of light ray takes place. So very, very important, guys. Most of the refraction occurs in which part of the eye? It occurs in cornea, right? And let us write its definition. We have come to know what do you mean by cornea, right? So what is cornea? It is a transparent membrane. Transparent membrane, okay, present around an eyeball. Present around, where is it present? It is present around eyeball. So the entire thing, this entire thing is called eyeball, right? So what happens in a cornea? It protects. One thing is it gives a protection. The other thing is what happens here? Most of the refraction occurs in which part of the eye? It occurs in cornea. This point you should never ever forget. So initially the light rays are coming and they are going through cornea. And cornea is the place where most of the refraction of the light rays occurs. Refraction in the sense bending of light. About refraction, you have studied enough in your previous chapter, right? Okay. So now let us go to the next part, that is this part, colored part of the eye. What is the colored part of the eye? I told you, iris. Say when I cut this portion, I'm seeing it deeply, right? So iris, this is what? Our iris. Okay, the green colored thing that I shaded, you know, that is iris. Clear? Fine. And you know, a small opening, one more dark round opening you will see in the iris, right? And what is that? I said this particular small opening is called pupil. Pupil. Okay? And the light rays will pass the cornea, right? Through the cornea, I mean, after a cornea, the light rays are passing through pupil. Okay, first light rays are hitting the membrane. It's a transparent one, so light rays are going inside. That is refraction is happening, first step of refraction. And later light rays will go deep inside the eye, and they will pass through a small black color opening that you can see it in an eye. That is what we call pupil. Okay, now let us learn about pupil and iris. Clear? So let me write about iris. So what is an iris? Colored part of an eye is what we call iris. Okay, and the main work of the iris is it controls the size of pupil. This is very, very important. So what does the iris do? It controls the size of the pupil. What I said, through the pupil, the light rays are entering deep inside the eye, I said. Okay, fine. Whenever you go to a bright sun, lots of light rays would be there. When lots of light enters into our eye, you know, the cells which are there in the eye are very, very sensitive. They will get damaged. Okay, so what happens, that point of time, the size of the pupil becomes small, right? Imagine this is the pupil, this is iris. Okay, say this much is the normal size of the pupil you imagine. So what happens, you have gone outside, lots of bright sun is there, and you know, so much of rays also should not go into your eyes, right? What happens, through the pupil only, no, light enters into the eye. So the iris will help the pupil to become small. Okay, so in case of bright sun, size of pupil will become small. What happens? Size of pupil becomes small. Try to remember this. And you know, in a darker room, this is your iris, this is your pupil. It has become very much small, so that you very little of light rays can enter into your eye. Okay, lots of light rays when enter into your eye, what happens? The cells of the eye will get damaged. That's the reason, you know, the iris will control the size of the pupil. Iris will make the pupil size very, very small here. Okay, and whenever you are there in a dark room, first of all, light will not be there. Okay, you have to see the things, so you make your eyes very big. So whenever you make your eyes very big, you know what happens? Iris is making the pupil big. Iris is helping the pupil's size to become little bigger. Why? So that many rays can enter into your eye. Because first of all, there is no light. So whatever light is there, all of that, when it enters into your eye, you can see something in a dark room. So if lots of light rays must enter into your eye, then the size of pupil must become big, right? So who will make the size of pupil big? Iris will make size of pupil become big. When? In a dark room. Okay, so what happens in a dark room? Size of pupil becomes big. Okay, so I think you are getting my point here. This is important to understand. Clear? So who is actually making the size of pupil small and big? Iris is actually helping. Iris is the one which is helping pupil's size to become big or small depending on the amount of sunlight. When there is lots of sunlight, if that sunlight goes into your eye, if the eye is getting damaged, then iris will make pupil smaller. When there is very little sunlight, when you cannot see something, you make your eyes big. Then that point of time, your pupil is going to become little bigger. And who is making it bigger? Iris is making it bigger. Okay, that is why I told iris is the colored part and it also controls the size of the pupil. Okay, fine. So next, let us talk about the definition of pupil. So what is a pupil here? Pupil is a opening. Pupil is a opening through which light enters into the eye. Light enters into the eye. I told you pupil is just like a window. Okay, a small window through which light is entering. First and foremost, light is entering through a cornea. Okay, imagine this is a light ray. It is entering into a cornea. Here, refraction occurred. Okay, and after that, light is entering through pupil. This is pupil. Okay. Okay. So once the light enters into the pupil, now what happens? See here, one more structure I have drawn here. And this one, we call it as crystalline lens. What is this? Crystalline lens. Can you tell me it is there in which shape? Concave lens or convex lens? Definitely it is there in the shape of convex lens. Okay, even the cornea shape you observe, it is there in the shape of convex. Okay, and the crystalline lens which is there inside the eye, that is also there in the form of convex lens. That means, you know, the light rays enters through this lens and converging of light rays will take place. Whenever light rays converge after refraction, image formation takes place, isn't it? That is what we have studied in our previous chapter. For the converging purpose, you know, our eyes have designed in a such a way that they had, you know, convex lens. Even our cornea is there in the shape of convex, and we have a convex lens only inside the eye, which we call it as crystalline lens. Okay, so here next part of the refraction occurs. Maximum refraction occurred in cornea only. Through the pupil, light rays are entering into a lens, and here another step of refraction occurs. So the converging of light rays takes place. Wherever the light rays converge, at that point image formation takes place, right? Okay, so that is the concept of image formation inside the eye. Since the image is forming whenever we see the object, you know, we can visualize that particular object with our eyes. Clear, everybody? So now let us learn something about this particular convex lens that is there inside the eye. So what you can write about crystalline lens? Crystalline lens is nothing but transparent. This is transparent, okay? And fibrous, soft lens, which is there in the shape of convex or concave? which is there in the shape of convex lens, right? Shape of convex lens. So that's all about the crystalline lens that is there inside the eye. Just right after the pupil. Pupil is the opening through which light rays are entering after cornea, right? Say right after the pupil, you have this convex lens. So here, the second step of refraction occurs. First step of refraction, I'm again reminding you, it is happening in cornea. That's the maximum refraction happens there. Little of refraction happens in this convex lens. Clear? Fine. And the next part, very, very important part is retina. You must have heard this. Okay, doctor saying retina is getting damaged. That's the reason you have this disease, that disease, right? So what is this retina? You know, see, these are the rays, light rays coming, okay, and they are entering the cornea. Certain level of refraction occurred, okay, and this is your convex lens, right? And the moment light rays have passed and again a refraction occurs, after refraction, the rays should meet at one point to get the image, right? So the rays would meet at retina, okay? And I'm taking another ray, okay? Even this is undergoing refraction, you know, it is meeting the rays. Wherever they meet, the refracted rays, see refraction in the sense what? Bending. See, first level of bending took place in cornea region. Second level of bending you observed in lens. And these refracted rays, now these are refracted rays. Refracted rays, where are they meeting? This is a converging lens, isn't it? Converging in the sense refracted rays are meeting at one point. Wherever the refracted rays meet, their image is formed, right? So, images are formed on a screen called retina. Okay, so here image is not formed, here image is not formed. You know, in this space image is not formed. Images are always formed on a screen. And this screen, okay, the screen which is there inside the eye, we call it as retina. Okay, so what we can write for the retina? Retina is like a screen where images are formed. Images are formed. You know one interesting thing, always on a retina, real and inverted images are formed. Real and inverted images are formed, guys. Say always on a screen, convex lens, images are real and inverted. No, same concept here. This is a natural convex lens which is not made up of a glass. This is made up of so many cells, like, you know, jelly-like material, very soft structure. It's a very delicate structure. It's not a glass. Okay, and this is a convex lens. Always convex lens, real and inverted images are seen. So here on a retina is just like a screen. You know what images are formed? Real and inverted. Then objects are not inverted, no, to our eyes. We see clear objects only. Say for example, you know, I have this chalk piece. Okay, so I see the chalk piece as it is. I don't see the chalk piece ulta, inverted image I can't see. How it is possible? It is because, you know, in the retina, you have certain specialized cells called rods and cones. Okay, you have specialized cells called rods and cones. Okay, and these rods and cones actually detect what colored light is coming and how much light is coming. Okay, image is formed in a retina. No? The moment it touches the retina, you have certain light sensitive cells. Okay, and they are nothing but rods and cones. And these guys will detect how much light is, what colored light is coming and how much light is coming. Okay, light, actually our white light is made up of so many colors, no? Right? So it will detect what colored light is coming and how much light is coming. And you know, and this light sensitive cells, they generate electric signal there. Okay, they generate electric signal, and these electric signals are passed to the brain through optic nerves. Okay, optic nerves. I think you are understanding my concept here, right? So what I told you, whatever image is formed, you know, the moment image is formed in a retina, these guys and other light sensitive cells will become active, and what they do, they will generate electric impulse, electric message. Okay, and this electric message, electric impulse will pass through nerves. Control and coordination, we have seen how electric messages are passed through nerves, right? And these nerves, optic nerves, are connected to brain, guys. Okay, so the brain visualizes what has happened. It will process the information and it will help our eyes to see the object as it is. Okay, so inverted images are formed in the eye, and that information, when it goes to the brain, brain makes that inverted image as erect image. Okay, and that's how we see the things as they are. Okay, if the brain was not working, only with the help of an eye you have to watch, then everything will look upside down. Whatever you see, everything looks ulta only, because actually eye's work is what? To create only the image, guys. Okay, eye has nothing to do. What is the work of an eye? To create the image. Later, about the image, the information goes to brain. Who will carry? Optic nerves will carry. Inside a brain, the brain does whatever the circus it has to do. It processes the information, and later it makes whatever image that has formed here, inverted image, it makes it erect. That's the reason we can see the things as they are. Got to know? So this much is the thing happening inside. Clear? So what type of images are formed on retina? Real and inverted image. Okay. So now let us speak about one more important term, optic nerves. So what do you mean by optic nerves, guys? So what I will write here is, the moment image is formed on retina, light sensitive cells generate electric signal. Generate what signals? Electric signal. That means it generates an information about the image in the form of electricity. That is what we call electric signals. And what happens? These electric signals are carried by nerves to brain. Okay, so these nerves are called optic nerves. These nerves are called optic nerves. Yeah, so that is the duty of optic nerves here. Fine. And now you have a gap here. See, retina is just a screen which is fixed onto this particular wall, right? And what about this space, guys? This particular space is filled with a certain liquid called vitreous liquid. Which liquid? Vitreous liquid. Or I can also say it as vitreous humor. Humor in the sense a kind of liquid. Okay, and let us understand what do you mean by vitreous humor. Okay, here only let me write the definition. So it is a liquid present where? In a gap is between, in a gap between lens and retina. Yes or no? Between lens and retina, you have this gap where the liquid is there. That is what we call vitreous liquid. And what is the importance of this vitreous liquid? It is for the protection purpose. It is for protection purpose, and all these are the cells that are present in a lens, the retina, everything is made up of cells, right? So the moment we say cell, the cell need nutrients. So who will provide the nutrients? Vitreous liquid provide the nutrients. Okay, it will provide the nutrients to whom? To cells of eye. Clear? So all amino acids, vitamins, minerals, everything will be there in this vitreous liquid, and this liquid provides nutrients to each and every component of the eye, each and every part of the eye. That is about vitreous liquid. And what about this gap? You have some gap here also between cornea and pupil. Yes or no? This is our cornea and this is a pupil. Here also you have a gap. So this gap is also filled with a liquid, and that is called as aqueous humor. What is it called as? Aqueous humor. So even this aqueous humor's duty is to protect the cell, and these liquids actually help the eyeball to stay in a spherical shape. So what is the shape of an eyeball, guys? It is spherical, right? And to maintain that spherical shape, these two liquids will help. What are the two liquids? One is aqueous humor, the other one is vitreous humor. Okay, so eyeball is a spherical, clear, which is actually having 2.5 centimeter of diameter. Spherical, no? So its diameter is something around 2.5 centimeter. To maintain that spherical shape, this vitreous humor and aqueous humor are helpful. Clear? So these are the different parts of human eye and their importance, their duties. Clear? So this is the first part of the chapter, human eye's structure. In the next part of a chapter, we are going to learn about power of accommodation. Like how actually images are formed on a retina, how we can see near object, how we can see object kept at far, what happens to this lens, everything we will try to understand. Clear? So with this, I am ending this session. Let us meet up in the next session, and do subscribe our channel to learn the concepts in a easiest way and in a detailed way. Thank you so much.